Oh, yeah, it's awesome. It's just talking to me.
Yeah. Do it every morning.
Nancy's like, I do it all the time.
Well, and honestly, with no modesty, I'm a good host. Like, I will keep you, if you get stuck, I will move you along. So
Yeah.
It's no problem.
You've done this before. It's not her first
Not my first rodeo.
Shit, it's
I'm
like your
Nancy, I'm
100th.
going to be on TV. He's like, why? I'm like, Nancy has a show. He's like, Nancy has a show?
Who
It's
did
like,
you
yeah,
say
she
My
does.
brother.
Oh, okay.
It's like, yeah, she does that too.
I'm like, yeah.
For years
He's
now.
like, Nancy
Yeah.
would have a show. She would be the one to have a show. I'm like, yeah,
Know
exactly.
about it.
Oh. Serge and I are talking about doing a podcast, like doing a radio show. Because you know how you can do them from your phone?
Yeah.
But I was thinking I'd do them from my phone, and we're going to get SCAT memberships.
Oh,
So I
cool.
can do it on my phone at Free Boston Radio. So then it's like double
awesome.
podcast, you know. So
Very cool.
So we just talk about random things sometimes, you know, that we don't get to talk to any, you know. Yesterday we, after a group, a couple kids stuck around, we talked about World War III and who could be in it. You know, who would be the playing roles and what would be the factors behind it. And I was like, you guys are really smart. Like, they're like, well, you know, Iran. I mean, they're talking about Iran and Russia and North Korea. And I was just
Yeah,
like,
North Korea
you know,
is definitely
and
in there.
who would be
And
allied.
there.
They were talking about England and the United States and Israel lining up. They were talking about the Israeli president speaking in front
scary.
of Senate. I'm like,
How do they
you
know
guys know all
this?
this? Well, you know who it was? Ed.
Oh,
Ed's
all right,
smart.
yeah.
Ed pays attention to a lot of things. Angela.
Yeah.
She's a smart little cookie herself.
My screen is gone. Oh, actually, I'm sorry, George, does he have a clip? Because I need to know how long it is. Welcome to Connecting Communities. I'm your host, Nancy Bacci. With me today are staff from Teen Empowerment. I have Danny McLaughlin, who is the program director at the Somerville office. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
And Stephanie Santiago, who is one of the newly hired community facilitators, which we're going to hear so much more about. Thank you both again for taking time to come on. One of the things we like to do each year is to help publicize the Peace Conference, which is an amazing event that Teen Empowerment hosts every year, bring hundreds of young people together to really understand and experience the issues that are happening now. Before we delve a little more deeply into that, I wanted to just get a little bit of background information about both of you for our viewers. So we're going to start with Danny, and tell us how you've transitioned through various roles with your position at Teen Empowerment.
Well, it's interesting. I actually started as almost a teen. I was about 21. And, yep. So just past my teen years, I actually started working downstairs from Teen Empowerment at Somerville Cares About Prevention. At that time was when Somerville was really addressing the issues of substance abuse, overdose, suicide, different things that were going on in the community. And at that time, Teen Empowerment, Somerville Cares About Prevention, a lot of organizations came into the city and started to address those problems. So I actually started working for SCAP, and through my work at SCAP, I saw Teen Empowerment working upstairs. The staff recognized me as a potential leader in the community. I guess they saw something.
Nice.
And I started working for Teen Empowerment as an associate program coordinator. Did that for about 2 years. From associate program coordinator, I became a full-time staff person as a program coordinator. And then after about 5-6 years as a program coordinator, a position opened up for program director. So I've been the director of the program for about 2 years now.
Yeah, and it's been a really nice experience, I think, because you are able to work so well with the young people because you've been in that position and really understand the importance of making their voice heard, and then the transition to a leadership role while still being able to keep that rapport that you've developed with them. And really, it's been, I mean, as someone who's been witness to it, it really has been a pretty seamless transition for you. I think, you know, you handled it very well, and I think the staff just really understood the transition and the role and looked to you for really guidance and leadership in the organization.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and the most important thing I see about my transition is to be a hands-on director. I know from working with a lot of directors in the past, some of my best experience with supervisors have been people who've been really hands-on. They've been in group, they've been working with the kids directly, not just seeing themselves as the director and the program being separate. The director has to be in the program to actually have a lot of success. You have to know the kids if you want to help them. So yeah, thank you very much, Nancy, because it's been very important to us to have an easy transition because we were coming off of a hard time at that time.
Yeah, and you've done a wonderful job. And one of my favorite young ladies, Stephanie Santiago, who I've had the opportunity to know for a number of years.
Yeah.
and you're newly hired as a community facilitator. But tell us a bit how you began your opportunity at Teen Empowerment.
I was a youth organizer when I was 17. I did my summer program, and then I went on for the school year. So I did about a year with TE, and then I had left because I went to college, and then my time was done and everything, and I just couldn't get away from TE. Danny was actually my boss when I was a youth organizer, and then now in college, I was like, I need to go back to TE. TE just stands for so many good things that I believe in, so I really was like, that's where I have to be. And now I'm a community facilitator, so yeah.
Which is a great experience, and again, really has the opportunity to make such an impact in the community.
Yeah, it really does.
I know we met yesterday and talked about a variety of issues that are looking to be addressed, and really ways to build collaboration. And that is so much, again, part of the Peace Conference is the collaboration with different organizations and entities, and really finding a way to bring everyone together around these topics, and making certain that young people who are our future leaders feel that they have a place in this city and that their voice is heard. And, you know, not in a complaining kind of way, because, you know, you don't want to be like, here are the 100 horrible things that are happening. And we're fortunate here in Somerville, knock on my wooden table, that the majority of things happening are really positive. You know, you have huge support in Mayor Curtatone and his administration. And I think the openness to, when an issue comes up, say, here it is. We're not afraid to address it. We acknowledge that there are issues happening, and let's all work together to work towards a resolution. And it's ongoing work. I mean, you can't stamp a problem solved and say, let's move on to the next, because it really is about mitigating the future impact of some of these topics. You know, it's not just checking an item off a list and saying, well, our work here is done, let's, you know, move on. It's continuing work, and I think being receptive to the voices of the community. And as we said earlier, the Peace Conference is a wonderful opportunity for that. So tell me a little bit about the background of the Peace Conference, Danny, and what brings it here.
All right, well, so this year's going to be our 9th annual Peace Conference. It's going to be at Somerville High on Saturday, May 9th, so just a little plug for when we're going to be having it.
Definitely.
But the Peace Conference started 9 years ago in Somerville. I was speaking a little bit about the troubles that the city was having years back. There was a lot of kids dying from drug overdoses, suicides. There was a handful of murders.
Very
it was a
difficult time.
Really hard time to be a Somerville teen, and the depression rates were really high. Substance abuse was really high. The mayor recognized this, and he saw it as an issue, and he's a huge advocate for youth support. He gets everything that youth need, he's looking out for. He's trying to really help us in any way we can, from having a space that we can work through to just making sure that we have everything we need to be able to help the youth, from support from the police department to get us on Nancy's show to make sure that we can plug our Peace Conference. But it's a really important day because it's a youth-led event. It's all about the youth talking about the issues that are important to them through their voice. So we have a completely youth-run event. It's going to be youth doing speeches, poems, spoken words, raps, songs, a full theater. It's all written and done by them. We support them on things like the theater, help them write the script to a degree, but for the most part, the characters are all based off their lives and lives of people they know, and it's a great way for the youth to actually get the voice out there to the city leaders. So we have a lot of support by the city, and it's a great time for them to actually hear the kids and their voice that they're actually addressing the issues that are going on. But like you said, the complaining isn't happening. They're talking about the issues, but they might talk about MCAS, they might talk about youth-police relationships, they might talk about these things, but they're actually producing or offering solutions. They're saying, hey, this is what can be done, this is what I think we could do, and it makes a real difference when you're putting yourself out there and not just talking about the things, but offering ideas and other ways that we can go about, because youth have a lot of ideas, and sometimes if the adults can sit back and listen, they can actually use some of those ideas to better the community.
I think that's a very important point, as you said, and I'd like to hear from you, Stephanie. You know, the fact that it is led by the youth, and I think, you know, that really is so important when you kind of let that sink in. This is an amazing undertaking. It's a huge production, and to realize the young people who are committed to enacting social change. They're not, again, like you said, just saying, well, this isn't working and kind of washing their hands of it. They're completely in it and willing to do the work to, one, raise community awareness on these topics, and then I think their willingness can't be overemphasized to really just bear themselves. I mean, to get up there and perform in whatever capacity and have the people in the audience realize that you're sharing, you know, you're not watching a TV show. This is something that is happening to you or someone you know or has had some impact in your life, and that you're willing, your willingness to want the community to be aware of it kind of trumps any, anxiety you may have about sharing such intimate details. And as someone who has been part of it in the past, do you find that to be true?
Yeah, definitely. I think my favorite thing about the Peace Conference is that the youth get to speak themselves about problems that are real, because it's something for someone else to go on and speak about someone else's story. But when it's you talking about your own story and seeing that you've overcame certain things, I feel like that's really inspirational. You know what I mean? And it's amazing that the youth do all this. And when I was in the Peace Conference, it was my favorite part. I loved acting, but also just being able to tell a story, or even just like get myself out there, recognition really to problems that are so under the table. That really is what I love, seeing people that I've seen the youth, I've seen them grow from shy kids, in the beginning of the school year, and now I'm so excited to see them in the Peace Conference, to see them really flourish and just show everyone their talents and what they have. I really love it. Yeah.
I think it's so important, like you said, too. In a moment, we're going to see a clip from last year's conference. But the issues that you talk about are difficult things, as you mentioned, suicide, depression, issues that are happening in families, interactions with police. These aren't necessarily, sunshine and flowers that we're talking about. And again, the willingness to work through and really work towards resolution and the impact that can have on the whole community. And I think that can't be underestimated. There are, as you said, hundreds of people come to this, and that's amazing. But then the potential for those people to go out and say, hey, I saw this, and did you know that, young people in Somerville are working on this, or this person had an experience, worked with organizations to make it better, and now here's the new way that they view this. I mean, it's such a great experience. It's always such a fun day, too. So do you want to take a peek at last year's?
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at the screen.
I said, hey, beautiful people. Yes.
And they're all part of one big ecosystem that's this community, and they're connected somehow. You taught us that we needed a proactive approach, not just a reactionary and solely punitive approach. Our goal shouldn't be to punish. Our goal should be to solve problems and to heal. So you joined us in making that approach a reality. And every year this Peace Conference, it moves us emotionally and spiritually to think about that. Through teen empowerment, teens and police started talking to one another. Each group gained a mutual understanding of one another. From social events to this annual conference, teen empowerment, it did just what the name says. Teens were empowered and became leaders among their peers, and in this community, they built trusting relationships with adults in our city. They helped advise me and my staff. Today, these relationships are stronger than ever. And we've seen the results. We can prove it. We can prove it. Dr. Russell Shutt from UMass Boston found in his evaluation of teen empowerment in Somerville that teen empowerment is responsible, now get this, for a 50% decrease in juvenile crime in Somerville's highest crime neighborhoods. 50% decrease.
There have been times that I thought I couldn't last for long, but now I know I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will.
Yeah, I know you know who Kevin is. So you want to tell me what's up with that?
Yeah. Let me break this down real slow for you, okay? It's none of your business. It definitely ain't your business. Ratchet. So anyway, it's none of your business or your business what I'm doing with Kevin or anyone else.
So she don't know? She don't know! Apparently you don't know that me and Kevin been dating for
They're together!
So the next time I hear you've been messing with him, I'm gonna have someone take care of that for me.
Well, guess what? That's not what he told me.
Oh, hell no! What am I doing? It's not her I should be mad at. It's that thing I call my boyfriend who's been playing me for how long. I mean, I know I deserve a decent man who will treat me decent. And I just need the courage to walk away. And I think I finally found it.
If only I could find the answers.
Yet I still Don't know the questions. Who am I to know? Keep dreaming of a perfect world. It's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. Live knowing that you made a change. Live knowing all of your pain.
It's a matter of time.
Cities shouldn't be segregated by income. Being able to find affordable housing shouldn't depend on what city you are from or how many bedrooms your family needs in an apartment. I know the city has been working on ways to preserve and create more affordable housing for Somerville families, but when I've gone to meetings about the issue, the solutions they talk about are still years away, and my family and lots of other families need a safe, stable home now. And we can't wait any longer, because Somerville is such a great community, and a lot of people want to live here. And housing prices keep going up. And I hope the city can find ways to help families already living in Somerville stay here, and not just temporarily until the prices go up again. And we need more affordable home ownership opportunities and more city housing for low-income families too. And I hope that people will keep talking about this important issue, and that more families like mine will work together with the city to make sure that we, the current people of Somerville, can continue to still call Somerville home.
I do want to dedicate this rose to teen empowerment. Today was a day I almost felt like giving up, but then I just thought about T and I came here today. So I want to thank T. Thank you.
I'd like to dedicate this rose to my dad, who came to the Peace Conference last year, which I was in, but he couldn't make it this year. But after seeing me and the change that I was making, he decided to finally get clean, and he's been clean for a few months now.
Imagine all the people living life in peace. Ooh, you may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us, and the world will be as one.
So we were able to see a snippet of the show that happens, and you know, as you said, it's clearly much longer production, and it's nice to just see a little bit of it. So as we mentioned, huge support from Tony, attends every year, and really, I think, emphasizes the importance of this. You know, you have a kind of a mixed audience, and I always tell that to Danny. I always like to sit way in the back because I like to watch the people as they're watching what's happening on stage. And it's always such an interesting mix. I mean, clearly the youth do an amazing job of getting their peers there and also connecting with adults and representatives of different organizations. But it's so interesting sometimes to sit there and watch an adult who is connected, but maybe not as familiar for whatever reason with the work or the issues, and kind of watch them as the story evolves and just see that moment where they're like, wow, like this is important to my city. So I always like to be a little bit of a spy in the background and be like, you know, because then I feel like there's the opportunity afterwards to go up to people and be like, hi, so what did you think? And, you know, kind of have that little bit of knowledge. So we saw a little bit about what happens, and we've talked about some of the issues and kind of the reason for the evolution of it. But what kind of benefit does this bring to the city of Somerville besides having a large number of people gathered on one day to hear about this? What kind of happens afterwards?
I think it's more like unity afterwards too, you know what I mean? It's not only after the peace conference, but also just being aware that these problems are here and just taking those chances. I know a lot of the youth last year, they got emails from people talking about how much their speeches have changed their lives, and how bringing aware to these problems that they're also going through, it's amazing. Because a lot of the times what they're talking about is things that no one talks about, you know what I mean? Kind of taboo subjects that are more hush-hush, more at home, and they're being that voice of, look, it's here, it's happening, and it's okay. I went through this, and look where I am now. And I think it's that positive change, and it gives the youth a chance to really take a step back and be like, I can do a lot in this city. I have a lot to say. I could do a lot. Programs like Teen Empowerment, I love it because it really is, we take those the youth are underdogs, I feel, a lot of times in a lot of cities. And here in Somerville, they're not. They have a lot of voice, and that's what I love the most, because if something's changing, we give them the opportunity to come. Come, you get your opinion on it. And that's what the Peace Conference does. It's kind of like this is the stepping stone to greater projects. Look, Pat's speech was beautiful. They didn't show it in the snippet, but it's beautiful. And my mom knew Pat for a long time, and she was like, Stephanie, I never knew that happened. A lot of times it's things that we never know happen that are happening, but we see these kids on stage, and they're strong, and the speeches are well put together, and they're confident in what they're saying, and that really is the most beautiful thing. That's what the whole city can take from it.
I completely agree. Like I said, it's amazing. Every year I'm just stunned, because I think as an adult, I'm like, I don't know at that age that I would have had that poise and the ability to get up there and say, this is happening in my life, and I'm perfectly happy to share that with hundreds of people and have it televised, you know, just that. And now, I mean, with social media, so everybody's kind of recording and posting, so there's not even the sense of like, you know, it's happening in real time. So, you know, you just walk off to the applause, and people already have it, you know, up on Facebook, and people are commenting, and you're still kind of getting back to your seat. So there really is that just willingness, which I have such admiration for the young people involved. And as we said, so tell us, we talked a little bit about collaboration, the importance of working with others. How do organizations get involved if they're interested in collaborating with the Peace Conference?
All right, well, that's a great question, because actually Thursday, March 19th, we're going to have a partners meeting, our Youth Workers Network meeting, which is going to be at 12 o'clock at 165 Broadway. So we'll be having the partners meeting then. And also, if partners can't make it, we'll be reaching out to them. We'll be contacting. We know a lot of the other organizations in Somerville since we've been here for 10 years. And we want to reach out to them. We want every organization in Somerville to be a part of it. The city is a big sponsor, and the police are a huge partner. This year, we've done a number of events with them, and we're actually hoping to continue our work with them through the conference. Who knows, maybe this year we have a police officer acting in the conference. You never know. Yeah, but the partnerships are huge, and having a large amount of youth-serving agencies there for the conference is very important, because they can have access to over 500 youth. If organizations are looking to find youth or find families, or look for specific audiences, you'll find them at the Peace Conference. It's such a diverse crowd. It's everything you're looking for in Somerville. Every single group, every single background, every single age group. We'll have from seniors there to little kids. So if people are looking for services, we'll have a service fair going on after the conference with free ice cream. So that's just another reason to come to the conference. But our partners are really important, and the city and the police have been our two major partners who have really, they've driven a lot of our work this year.
Excellent. Well, I think that's important too, and I think we're very fortunate, and sometimes I think we don't realize it. Somerville has a huge amount of resources. Yeah. It really amazes me sometimes when I meet with representatives from other cities and their staff, and I hear the kind of list of stuff they're doing, and not to denigrate any city, but I kind of sit there and I'm like, oh, well, we have 20 of that, and just like, it is amazing the commitment that Somerville has to all of its residents, seniors, youth, families, any population, pardon me, has a way to access services in this city. And I think sometimes we're spoiled by our riches almost. And I think, again, having this service fair is an amazing way for people to find out about resources that maybe they haven't already had an opportunity to have an interaction with, or just, it may be something that you don't need right now, but it's nice to just kind of grab a pamphlet or get a brochure and just file that away. And if it's something that you don't necessarily have a need for in your life, maybe your neighbor does, or a relative, or, it's just good to, I think, have any sort of information that you can, because you never know when you're in a position to want to share that with others. So one thing that you had mentioned that I do want to touch upon, because it's been such a strong presence, as we know, the city is a huge supporter of teen empowerment in the Somerville Police Department. So there has been youth police dialogues happening over a number of years, but this year the intensity of that has kind of ramped up and culminated in a super fun basketball game, which was great. So do you want to chat a little bit about how that idea came into fruition from the dialogues? Yeah, well, as a lot of people know, there's a new sheriff in town, or as we call him, Chief Dave Fallon. And Chief Fallon has been working with us since he's been a detective. So we didn't, when Chief Fallon became the chief, we didn't have to go to him. Like, we've had a number of chiefs in the past few years in Somerville, and a lot of them have been very supportive, because the city supports us and the police department supports us. We've done great work with them, but Dave knows our work.
And Chief Allen, he's really behind us in the work we do because he's been there. He's done the dialogues. He's walked in the shoes. So when he encourages his officers to be a part of it, it's not something that he's just telling them that he thinks they should do.
Right.
It's something that he knows works. It's something that he's been a part of. So he's worked with us as he's moved up the ranks, and we're very pleased to have him become our new police chief. And since he's been chief, I mean, the man has put his money where his mouth is.
Yes.
He said he wants to do more police youth work. We've done more police work. In the past 4 months, we've had 3 different events with the police. In the next few months, we're going to have 3 more events with the police. We're going to be doing walk-in dialogues with the chief in the spring. We held 2 dialogue community building sessions with the police officers, and then a planning session that we planned an amazing basketball tournament. It wasn't youth versus police. A lot of people think we're going to have youth playing against police. We had them play together.
Yes.
And having them play together, doing activities together beforehand to kind of get to know each other deeper. And they also did the work beforehand. So there were relationships formed before the basketball tournament, before this. And it's paying off tenfold. Just the other day, one of our youth's friends got stopped. And it was just for some specific person, I can't speak, someplace else. And they recognized one of our kids, and they were like, well, we know you. You know, we know you're a good kid, we know good things. Just checked out really quickly. They were able to send him on the way. And the kid was really happy with the outcome. And that's a kid who's actually had a lot of negative interactions with the police before. So he actually reported back to us. He actually posted on his Facebook about, hey, things have changed. You know, things are looking good. So it feels good when you hear those stories following these events, and just knowing that the work is real, and the people in the police department are really invested in being proactive and actually addressing issues through de-escalation and areas like that. So it's been really great, and it's an awesome partnership. We look forward to doing more with them.
What did you think of the basketball game? Because that definitely, like Danny said, you know, the youth police dialogues have happened, and feedback on both sides during the dialogues was maybe you could do a physical activity and then to have the planning for it and to have the basketball tournament and to look around. We had it at the East Somerville gym on a Friday night and realized everyone here, I mean, it's a Friday night. So you had youth, adults, police. I mean, I had the opportunity to be a coach. My team came very close to winning by 1 point.
So get us next year.
I will get you next year. But to realize, like, you know, it's a Friday night, and here are all of these people committed to doing this positive activity and not out looking for something potentially negative to do on a Friday night.
Yeah. First I was very jealous because when I was a youth, I didn't get to do the basketball, even though I'm not good at basketball. But still, it would have been very nice. But I was unfortunate. I couldn't be there because of class, because I had class. But I saw the build up to it.
Yes.
And then after class, there was a lot of bragging about how amazing it was. And I watched all the videos, and I was really happy to see, because everyone was laughing. Everyone was laughing. My brother was there too. And he even said it. He was like, it was all really like, it was just a chill event. We were all just playing. It was so much fun. And I loved it, because those are the things that we really look forward, you know what I mean? When people hear youth and police, we normally see all the negative things that are going on in society now, you know what I mean? But now it really is, I think Somerville's shining the light on, it doesn't always have to be that way. It could be something different. And I didn't know that story, Danny, about the youth, and that makes me happy. You know what I mean? Seeing that change is real, and that's an example. And maybe not everybody's life, but in his life, he had that encounter, and now going on, he can tell his friends, hey, no, it doesn't always have to be like that, because things are word of mouth. And then I hope we do this again, so then I can play next year, or the next time we do it,
coach.
right? I'll coach. We will
be with me.
Yes, I will be with you, and we will win this year. That is the point. But no, I love it. Yeah.
I mean, it was just a great thing, and I knew you would have some feedback from the young people afterwards, because it really, you know, it was great, like I said, to just kind of be there and see the energy. And realize that, you know, a number of years back, you wouldn't necessarily have seen this happen. And without all of the work and commitment from the prior time, this event wouldn't have happened. Like you said, you know, Chief Fallon is usually supportive of this, puts the resources there, as you said, doesn't just say we should do this. It's like, here, the officers are coming, participating in this. You know,
He gives us ideas.
We had Officer Dan Rago, who is the Ward 4 community police officer, was really instrumental in having that happen.
Couldn't do it without Dan.
It was a great event, and hopefully we will have an amazing turnout for the Peace Conference. So Saturday, May 9th, 12:30, Somerville High School Auditorium. I want to thank you both so much for coming on. It was always a great pleasure to hear about the work of teen empowerment and whatever we're able to do to support and help get people out there. So thank you again, and I look forward to the conference.
Great, thanks, Nancy.
Thank you.
As always, I'd like to thank the production crew, Joe Constantine and George Wood. We'll see you next month.